The Ministry of Education in China has actively acknowledged that men are falling behind, and they're like, we're going to stop this, and we're going to make our men more macho. We're going to watch it in its entirety. It's 7 minutes long. Don't even know how this was able to be played on American TV, but it was.
Now to the first part of a series you'll see here every Wednesday in the month of March, focusing on men in America. The signs are everywhere. If you're a middle-aged man, you probably know a peer who has killed himself in recent years, at least one. If you're a parent, you may have noticed that your daughter's friends seem a little more on the ball than your son's. They get better grades, they smoke much less marijuana, they spend less time playing video games, they go to more prestigious colleges. If you're an employer, you may have noticed that your female employees show up on time. The young men often don't. And of course, if you live in this country, you've just seen a horrifying series of mass shootings, far more than we've ever had. Women didn't do that. In every case, the shooter was a man. Something ominous is happening to men in America. Everyone who pays attention knows that. What's odd is how rarely you hear it publicly acknowledged. Our leaders pledge to create more opportunities for women and girls, whom they imply are failing. Men.
And the reason they're doing that, okay, just so you guys know, I'm going to come on screen. The reason they are empowering women or whatever is because women are easier to enslave financially. They're easier to sell to. They're easier to control because they don't fight back, because it's not in their genetic makeup to fight back, right? They always comply. And that's the big goal. And that's why you think now, because people are, just always take the easiest route, right? Women have become a commodity in the United States. Like, social media companies use women to keep them on the platform because they know men will come to the platform. So these women can get away with murder. For example, Twitch, right? Amaranth. Amaranth is a famous Twitch streamer, and she can, her vagina was shown on stream one time. Her vagina was fucking fully shown on screen, and she got a 1-day ban, right? There was a guy who his nipple was shown on screen, and Twitch permabanned him, okay? Twitch is run by betas and cucks. So, I mean, that's just, that the only reason that platform's staying alive is because it's endlessly funded by Amazon, right? Then also this fucking bitch, what's her name? Alinity, right? Alinity. She is also a Twitch streamer who, like, her tit came out on stream, and again, like a 1-day ban or like a 3-day ban or something like that. Like, other men have been like permanently banned, 30-day bans. It's completely biased, and here's two parts why. One, it is the Twitch website is run by like fat, like low testosterone, non-dominant males who supplicate to women, and B, it's because they know that chicks get clicks. And chicks get clicks, and so when you have chicks on your fucking website, the simps come and they send money, and these guys are just pimping out these broads. That's all they're doing. Like, Twitch, it used to be like like, I don't even use Twitch anymore. Like, I used to use Twitch. I'm like afraid to live stream on there because I'm just like inevitably just think, like, as a businessman, like, this is just gonna go under. And they prioritize women, and women just complain about anything, and then you get deplatformed. And that's because these companies don't really care about the women. All they care about is making money off of them. Same thing with the companies in America, right? This is why you have Dove saying shit like body positivity and all this shit, right? So you're seeing, like, America.
You guys don't donate $100 right
you.
now.
Thank you so much.
You're a beta male. You're a cuck. You're blue pill for life.
Very good.
You better send me $1,000 in donation right now.
And that's
Salute MLD says, Joy Crack, $4.99 super chat. I took your crypto advice, and now I purchased one Ethereum at $1,980. I'm jealous. Ethereum to the moon, rocket ship. Absolutely, bro. Just wait. Look, guys, all I'm saying is, for you guys that are in the crypto mindset course, the speech I gave in the webinar last night talking about what happened with John McAfee. And all I'm going to say is this: if they're willing to kill people, murder people, okay, because, like, the collective consciousness doesn't believe John McAfee killed himself. Let's be honest, okay? The collective consciousness does not believe that. They believe that he got fucking Epsteined. I mean, it's now it's a pop culture term. Oh shit, he got Epsteined, which means, like, he fucking killed himself, which was meaning he did not kill himself. He got killed. So if they're going to kill people for promoting cryptocurrency, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win, right? Here we are. Here we are. This was aired in 2018 in March, Josh, ELIF program. Let's continue.
Men don't need help. They're the patriarchy. They're fine, more than fine. But are they fine? Here are the numbers. Start with the most basic, life and death. The average American man will die 5 years before the average American woman. One of the reasons for this is addiction. Men are more than twice as likely as women to become alcoholics. They're also twice as likely to die of a drug OD. In New Hampshire, one of the states hardest hit by the opioid crisis, 73% of overdose deaths were men. But the saddest reason for shortened lifespans is suicide. 77% of all suicides in America are committed by men. The overall rate is...
These numbers are outdated. I don't know if they're higher or lower, but I do know men still are the majority because this is from 2018. And suicide has been a long-going issue with men. I think they said like more women, more women attempt suicide, but they don't attempt it to actually kill themselves. They attempt it to get attention, especially histrionic women. It is a mental disorder and the DSM. And that's a diagnostic statistical manual. This is like the book that psychologists made that like diagnose diseases, mental diseases and whatnot. Anyways, here we go.
Is increasing at a dramatic pace. Between 1997 and 2014, there was a 43% rise in suicide deaths among middle-aged American men. The rates are highest among American Indian and white men who kill themselves at about 10 times the rate of Hispanic and black women.
And so, yeah, Randall J says, more women attempt, more men succeed, which just ultimately proves my point that men do everything better than women. Because when they set out to knock themselves out, they do it, okay? Get the job done. If you're going to do it right, okay? Don't pay on my channel.
You often hear America's incarceration crisis. Well, that's almost exclusively a male problem, too. Over 90% of inmates are men. Now, these problems are complex, but we know that they start young. And relative to girls, boys are failing in school.
And that's because in the American education system, okay, because remember in China, they are actively, the government of China, okay, the Ministry of Education in China has actively now acknowledged that men are falling behind, and they're like, we're going to stop this, and we're going to make our men more macho. America, the women in the educational system in America, one, they're typically miserable single mothers or miserable single former feminists, right? Just psychopaths. And they kind of like inherently hate men, right? Because most women in America, like they have like a low key hate for men. Like women in America don't admire men anymore. They really don't. The culture has become so toxic and hate filled that women have become like so toxic and just you can't even deal with them. And then women don't even know they're fucking broken, right? And they treat the little boys, as Rollo Tomassi says, like defective girls. Like, oh, he's just not being as... They don't realize, like, boys are boys and girls are girls. And so the education system leans towards favoritism of the women and the girls from a young age. So from a young age, these boys think something's wrong with them. And you can indoctrinate somebody from a young age if you put them through, you know, the K through 12 system. And that's what's happening in America. Weak men equals weak nation equals a broken nation equals a fallen nation. That's what's happening right now in America, boys.
More girls than boys graduate high school. Considerably more go to and graduate from college. In schools at every level, boys account for the overwhelming majority of discipline cases. One study found that fully 1 in 5 high school boys had been diagnosed with some form of hyperactivity disorder. That's
which is fake, right? Those are not real hyperactivity disorder. Those are things that are made. Okay, boys have more discipline problems, and this is a good thing, okay? Because that's what men do. We don't submit. We don't fucking sit down and we don't fucking just take it when the system tells us to. That's the strength of men. We say no. If we don't want to do it, we don't fucking do it. We stand up and we fight. Women comply. They're submissive in their nature, whether they want to act like it or not. And they used to submit to men. Now they submit to government corporations. easier to control. That's why men are public enemy number one in America.
That's compared with just 1 in 11 girls. Many of them were medicated for it. The long-term health effects of those medications, not fully understood.
Drugging up the little boys with Ritalin.
But they do appear to include depression in later life. Women now decisively outnumber men in graduate school. They earn the majority of doctoral degrees. They're now the majority of new enrollees in both law and medical schools.
Shitty graduate degrees, might I add. We're going to cover that a little bit later.
For men, the consequences of failing in school are long-term and profound. Between 1979 and 2010, working-age men with only high school degrees saw their real hourly wages drop about 20%. Over the same period, high school-educated women saw their wages rise. The decline of the industrial economy disproportionately hurt men. There are now 7 million working-age men in America who don't work. They've dropped out of the labor force. Nearly half of them take pain medication on any given day. That is the highest rate in the world by far. Far fewer young men get married than did just a few decades ago, and fewer stay married. About 1 in 5 American children live now only with their mothers. That's double the rate of 1970.
And it's far more higher now, 3 years later in 2021.
Millions more boys growing up without fathers. Young adult men are now more likely to live with a parent than they are to live with a spouse or a partner.
And this whole American idea of like, oh, well, you know, if you're not happy, you just need to like break up for the kids. Divorce is the worst thing you could do for your kids. Unless you and your like wife are slugging it out every single night, you get married to have a family and you stay together to raise the children, to create good, healthy, mentally well-adjusted members of society. You guys out there know when you have a friend, like, oh, this guy has good parents, like he's a good guy. And you also know when you have your parents are like shitty, when somebody comes from a shitty household. That's why, like, the number one thing we talk about in the dating community is like, oh, she's got daddy issues. She's got daddy issues. What does that mean? She's gonna has an OnlyFans, and she's probably, you know, easy to have sex with, and she's probably mentally fucked up, right? When the parents split up, it has profound psychological effects on the children that last throughout their lifetime. And America and American women are known for divorce. They are known for it. They initiate it, and they know it, and they do it only for the sake of financial security and doing whatever they want, which is indoctrinated in them through American culture.
That is not the case for young women. Single women buy their own homes at more than twice the rate of single men. More women.
So he says single women buy their own house at twice the rate of men, right? But really, it's kind of being framed as a good thing, but really all that is showing is that women are getting in more debt than men. Because they're not buying the house. They're getting approved for a mortgage, okay? And then they're debt slaves for eternity. So it's not necessarily a bad thing in that, you know, I'm not going to just like ride his jock the whole time here. Men are making smarter decisions. This goes back to my point. What I'm saying, women have more graduate degrees. How are they getting those graduate degrees? Getting into mountains of debt. Women are getting more houses. How are women getting more houses? Getting into mountains of debt. Bro,